In this video, I'd like to compare inline and block elements. So I did mention this in class. If you recall, inline means everything belongs in the line. So things like text, when you write text, it happens in a line, and as that line grows and gets to the edge of the window, when it hits the edge, it'll wrap around to the next line. Whereas block elements take up the entire line. Okay, regardless of how long it is. If you recall, if you put like a heading like my title or my page or something like that, right after that, that takes up the entire line, and then what it does is it inserts a line break. Okay, so I'll show you. Okay, so here in this code, you'll see that I've inserted 3 links. Okay, they're just fake links. They don't. There's no href to anything, but that's fine. Just to show you that these are links. I have 3 images. Okay, so just 3 of the same images. Then I have 3 h1 and 3 paragraphs. So here's a question for you that maybe you can pause and think about it for a minute. Okay, which of these elements are inline? And which of these elements are block? Okay, so go ahead, pause it, think for a minute, go. Okay, so now that you're back, these ones here, links and images, are inline, and these ones are block. And here is how you can see the difference. Notice that links are inline, so part of the line, so they just keep continuing on the same line, same line, same line. There's 3 fake links. Same with images. And notice that after I finish with the link elements, it doesn't go to the next line. There's no line break. Okay, immediately it goes on to the next inline element, which happens to be an image, image, image. Everything in line until it hits the edge of the screen. So let me just show you. If the edge of my screen is actually there. Well, actually, I can't go any smaller than that. It doesn't let me go any smaller. But maybe I'll just, for argument's sake, let's do this. And let's just put a few of those. Save, reload. Okay, let's see if it does it this time. Okay, so see, when those inline elements, when they hit the edge of the browser, it will wrap onto the next line. Okay, so there's inline. Whereas block elements, right, here I have a block element, right, a heading 1, right, and as soon as that block element finishes, right, it actually inserts a line break and goes to the next line, where I have my next element, line break, next element. So compare that to inline, where my element finishes, but it still continues on the same line, whereas block, when the element finishes, it automatically inserts a line break. Okay, so heading 1 and paragraphs all insert a line break after when the element is finished. Okay, these don't have a line break, but let's say I do want a line break. I can actually insert a line break. Some of you have discovered all this already. If you want to manually insert a line break, there's the tag. Okay, so save and reload. And there's my line break, right? I could even do it between these, right? I could put a line break here. And save and reload. Okay, so you can see you can insert line breaks, force a line break. Okay, if you don't have a line break, they'll just continue on the same line. Other things that you should know about inline and block, which will come in handy a little bit later, is inline elements, the width is something that you can't set. Okay, the width is exactly the width of the content. So the width of this link is that big. The width of the image is exactly that width there, and I can't control it. Okay, so whereas block elements, I actually can control the width. Now the width of a block element by default, and I actually can't highlight it, but the width is the full size of the window. Okay, so it's 100%. So the width of this block element goes from this border all the way to this edge. And if I decrease that, the width of this is from there to there. Okay, so it's not like a fixed pixel, but it's like 100%. Now, if I want, I can set a width for a block element. So I can use a percentage, so I could say like width 50%, and then the width of that block element would end like right there. Okay, or I can use a pixel. So if I know that this is exactly 200 pixels or whatever, I could say width of this block element to be 200 pixels, and it ends right there. If that's in fact 200 pixels, I don't know, I'm just kind of guessing. Okay, so you can set the width for block elements, but you cannot set the width for inline elements. So I've just inserted a little bit of code here, some styling. So I've made the background color of links red, background color of h1 green, and as you can see that the width of inline elements are exactly the width of the content, whereas width of block elements are the entire window. With a little bit of, looks like margin, maybe there's some margin there. You could get rid of that just by setting margin to 0, so you could set that if you want. But let me just show you how I can set the width of an inline, or sorry, of a block element. Width 50%. Okay, so that's 50%, and depending on the window size, it's 50% of that window size. Or let's do pixels. So let's do 300 pixel. Okay, reload, and that will remain 300 pixel regardless of the window size. Okay, and if I try to do that with an inline, and that probably shouldn't work. And as we can see, it doesn't work. Okay, so that does not work.